Hey friends, welcome back to the weekly show. Whoop, whoop. My name is Evelyn Tribble, and this is a week 20 or episode 23. We're going to be talking about it's called From Tired to Thriving, and I'm going to share with you my 3-step energy shift that has been working for me. And hey, who knows? Maybe it's the right thing for you too. So, all right. So here's the deal. If you have ever felt like your body is dragging by 2 p.m. and you're tempted to reach out for a second or maybe third cup of coffee, then this episode is for you. Or maybe like me, where you're just like trying to avoid that coffee, but your head is like falling on the steering wheel. And that's not a good thing either, right? Like you put yourself and your children in danger zone. Okay, so here's the thing that I have learned, that we actually don't need more caffeine. What we need is the right rhythm that actually works for you. And that is different for every person, okay? And it's actually something that the Lord has been speaking to me about. This whole rhythm is actually new to me. Okay. And so let's talk about how to actually um, naturally shift your energy, our energy, so that we can thrive, not just like survive the day. Like who wants to that's miserable. Nobody just wants to survive the day. Like you don't want to be there, right? I've done that. I did it a few years ago. I did it 3 years in a row, and I was not happy. I was not I wasn't even feeling good in my own skin. My health had just you know, and I just didn't feel good. So I have learned that that is not, I don't want to survive. Okay. I want to thrive. I want to thrive. Also know I need that energy. So what do I do about this? Okay. And so the Lord has been teaching me in these last few years and really given me that word rhythm. Like that's been coming up, rhythm. I'm like, okay, Lord, what is that? All right. Um, I mean, oh my goodness. We live in constant exhaustion. Can I just say that? I mean, that is our culture, not necessarily you or me. I know that that's where we're working out of, but our culture in general is constant exhaustion. As women and especially moms, like who's with me? If you are an entrepreneur, if you're some sort of in a helping your community, you pour, if you're a leader, oh my goodness, you pour out all day long for our families, our jobs, our communities, right? Whether you're volunteering for us, as a soccer mom, like we pour out a lot. And then we wonder why we crash by dinner. Our husbands do too. I'm going to say that. I have an amazing husband who is very supportive, and I know I am blessed to be able to say that. Not every woman does, okay? And so I with that said though, as women and as moms, we are constantly pouring. And here's what I have learned. I don't want to crash by dinner. I don't want to crash by 2 o'clock. I don't want to put my family in danger. I don't want to feel like icky inside and my health just deteriorating just because I'm doing for all day long for others. And I don't make time for myself. I don't, because that's an excuse I found in my life is I just don't have time. Well, we make time for what matters and what we put priority over. And that's where the Lord began speaking to me about that. It's not a selfish act to want to take care of myself, right? I have to continue living and being strong. I want to live strong for my grandchildren one day. So I have learned that exhaustion isn't always a time issue. It's often a rhythm issue. There's that word again. The Lord has been speaking to me about rhythm. I'm like, God, what is a rhythm? Rhythm is anything that you um, habitually do throughout the day. It is the beat of the tune that you play throughout the day. Okay, that is what we do. And 95% of what we do comes from the unconscious brain, side of the brain, okay? Which means that I think it's 90 to 95%, which means that we only live in intentionality 5 to 10% of what we do is where we live intentionally. And so how do we make that shift, right? Like we are constantly living on habits, off of habits, think beliefs that we have um, maybe adopted from the time we were children. Think about it. You get up and you have a morning routine. That's a rhythm. That's a rhythm, right? You go about your day and you have a routine. That is a rhythm. So we have trained our bodies to function oftentimes under stress and just overdrive. But here's the deal. Our body was not designed to constantly recover, reset, respawn, like always be on reactive mode as opposed to proactive, as opposed to being intentional with the things that we do and we say we're going to do. Not just reactive and responding and just constantly resetting and recovering. So today I want to share 3 shifts that have moved me from feeling tired all the time to feeling more alive, more energized, more focused than I've ever lived in my years. And let me tell you, when I do my workout, I'm constantly saying this is for the women in your life, okay? If you're not feeling like I'm doing my workout, I'm acting in faith, I'm being intentional with it, but I'm also being intentional with the thoughts that I'm saying. I'm fit, I'm lean, I'm sexy, right? For my husband, like I feel sexy. I want that for my marriage, right? And so yeah, like that is part of a rhythm that I'm successful, like I'm alive, I'm feeling energetic, like all the things that we say, those are intentional things that we can shift from here to here. That is a rhythm. Okay. All right. So here's my 3 energy shift that the Lord has been working with me these last few months. And boy, do I feel it right now. All right. So number 1, we've got to restore that rhythm. We've got to restore that rhythm. Honestly, it starts by honoring um, they call it the circadian rhythm. Have you ever heard of that? So God designed our body to rest and to rise in cycles. That's why there's a sleep time, there's a get up time, right? Like our bodies are designed to do that. And when we rest, we also detox our bodies from the inside out. There is a that's our circadian rhythm. Like that's how God has designed us to rest and to rise, because when we rest, we can detox our minds, we can detox our bodies, we can detox the things that we've eaten. Like it gives us a time of fasting right in there. So the morning light exposure is actually a consistent wake up time, and we can moving our body early in that moment when we get up, right? And when we rise, that's movement. And when we move our body early, it also helps our brain to wake up naturally without overloading on caffeine. Like that's how God has designed that rise and rest and rise, okay? Um so restoring our rhythm, right? Detoxing like we're constantly drained out. How do we detox that drain? Okay. So after that, right, we reduce the hidden drains, the toxic products, the clutter, even emotional stress. So your environment is either fueling you or draining you. So when we get up and we look at our kitchen from the night before and you realize, good grief, I have not Like the dishes are still out on the sink. There's stuff all over the counter. Oh, maybe some food got left over from like being brought in and never got put in the trash or in the free refrigerator or whatever. And you're just like, ooh, that's clutter. Like that drains us. That automatically drains us. And so our environment can either fuel us or it can drain us. So I've learned that we have to start small. We have to start small. Obviously, as moms, we can't be getting up in the morning, going to work, getting the kids ready for school, and then getting to work, doing our job, and then we come home. Like at some point, housework has to be done. So if we do all of that, plus trying to get dinner and trying to get kids out to their games, to their practices, or maybe they're already at school, but it gives you that extra time. They stay after, but you still need to go to the games, right? Not need to, but like you still want to go to the games, but you still have to feed them. So you come home, everybody's exhausted, things have been left out, like, and then you wake up the next morning and there's that cluttered mind. So, like obviously getting the family involved is huge. But it can create that emotional stress. So that's where I talk about like that environment can either fuel us or it can drain us, but we have to start small. We have to swap out harsh cleaners at some point in our life so that we can breathe easier, so that we can get up and like actually have clean air, right? Not like constantly giving us things. Matter of fact, this month is asthma and allergy awareness month. Well, how do we do that? How do we create awareness? Well, we create awareness by first beginning with what is in your home. What are you cleaning your home with? What products are you using on your hair, on your face, on your skin, right? What are you spraying constantly? What are you washing your dishes with? What are you washing your clothes with? Like all of those things will either create some great air, clean air for you that will help you during allergy and asthma moments and attacks and things like that, right? Those are hard things. So how do we start small? We begin by swapping harsh cleaners in our home. We then move into removing digital clutter. Like this has been a journey of almost 12 years for me. Okay. In our home, this has been our journey for the last 12 years. And the last thing is that I feel like the Lord has helped me with in the last 12 years is saying no to one thing this week. Saying no to one thing this week. Sometimes we just can't do it all, right? So we had 5 games this week. Sometimes it just takes, you know what? We might not make it, both of us, to all of it, but we can alternate. I mean, it's just as little as that sometimes, right? But that's hard as a parent because you want to be there for every kid. So all right. And then we fuel our intelligence. That's my third one. So last one, and this one changed the game for me. And as you know, like back in October, I started doing some research. I was like, man, Lord, and I felt like the Lord was leading me to this, right? And I ran into this idea of bioactive precision peptides. Like, what is that? That's a mouthful, right? But let me tell you, fueling with intelligence, that was my last shift where I felt like the Lord was leading me into. You've heard me mention them before. So let's just get very practical, okay? These, the whole word is bioactive precision peptides. So these peptides, they're very small chains of amino acids. That's it. It's amino acids. So that's protein, right? Think of them like text messages that they're text messages being sent to your cells, and it's telling your body what to do, to heal, to recover, to focus, to thrive. That's essentially what these peptides do. The ones that I use, because there are so many, let me just say this. There's different types of peptides. There's peptides that are man-made, man-created, created in a lab, that come with side effects, and they're very costly. You have to actually go to the doctor to get a prescription. They're prescription-based. Then there's peptides, bioactive precision peptides that are AI discovered. So it's almost like, so yeah, AI is involved in this. So very precise, AI directed, like telling you exactly what you want those peptides to do, right? So it's a precision targeting. It targets specifically. The cool part about it is it's naturally sourced. God, the ultimate biochemist, has given us this through nature, and they're ingestible. They're not injectable. You don't have to inject it. You just take it oral, right? Orally. They're very intelligent and they're clean. They're affordable. They don't have the side effects, and you don't have to go to the doctor to get it. It's no prescription. Um, so I like to think of it as this. If your DNA is the lock, then the peptides are the key. So the peptides unlock your DNA. And they're very precise in telling them, hey, you've already got these peptides in your body anyway. All I'm going to do is we're going to specifically tell those peptides that are in your body to heal, to recover, to focus, to thrive. All right. Okay. So I started using these bioactive precision peptides when I felt burnt out and foggy, and I was trying to keep up with my family life, with my business life, and just ministry. And in just a few weeks, after 10 days, I noticed even that my pants were fitting different. And all of a sudden, it was like the inflammation had gone down. And my body was being almost like the composition, everything was kind of shifting all of a sudden. That was like within 10 days. Um, but over the course of the time, over the 3 months, I noticed that my energy was just more steady. It was constant. My brain felt clear. I could focus. I could stop. And actually, I used to get very anxious. And so I noticed that anxiety also came from gluten. So the gluten sensitivity. So, I started watching what I was eating and tracking things, just to get an idea. um, the change in temperature, the cold could cause that anxiety as well. But there was so much that played to it. Um, so I noticed that I didn't have to take I was taking, I drink tea. I wasn't, a few years ago, the Lord helped me to stop drinking coffee. But I was drinking a lot of tea still, and I know it has some kind of decaf. I was going for the caffeinated teas, I noticed, and because I still like, I still felt like I was just couldn't get through the day without it, and I would have more and more, sometimes less water. So I noticed that I started going for herbal teas. So my caffeine, was, actually, I didn't need it as much. So I wasn't just managing my days anymore. I was showing up, and I felt like fully present. So I call, um, I call that energy, like, you don't want to just hustle through life, right? You want to be able to walk in obedience, knowing that you are serving your God, the creator of the earth, and following in obedience what God is asking you to do, but not hustling. Like, you don't want to hustle. So anyway, that was my story. I've really, I actually stopped for about a month, to see what my body would do. And I mean, I stayed stagnant. I didn't, I wasn't losing any weight necessarily. But I noticed that the lean muscle wasn't, it wasn't growing any. Like, my lean muscle wasn't, even though I was going to the gym, lean muscle wasn't increasing. The body fat wasn't lowering. I just felt a little stuck. So I went back and I started taking them, and you could obviously feel the difference again. And I have, lost point 2, 2.2, 2.4 total pounds. So it's not like I'm going for the losing pound, but my lean muscle has increased and my body fat has lowered. So Anyway, if you are ready to stop feeling exhausted and to start really reclaiming your energy, I want to invite you to my free 5-day challenge that's coming up the last week of May. The theme is swap the waste and fuel the change. Here's what we're going to be focusing on: detoxing your home. Yes, that's my 3-step, right? Detox your home, reclaiming your energy. All right. And we're going to say goodbye to paper towels. Uh, yeah, for good, maybe, but maybe it's just for certain areas. Maybe it's less paper towels, right? Maybe that's your next step. So obviously swapping the waste, fueling the change. Now, this is going to be simple. It's going to be very actionable and just completely doable. Plus, you will be in a community of other wellness-minded women as well. So comment challenge below, and I'm going to send you that link to sign up. And I'm super excited about this. So I want to help more and more uh, women just completely detox your drain, like feeling that drain where you're gonna fall asleep on the wheel. That's not okay, right? So I want to help with that. I want to help you with that, and I want to fuel your purpose, knowing that God has created you. God loves you. He has a purpose for your life. You're not here just to survive every day. You're here to thrive, and He has a mission and a purpose for you and a calling. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. Remember that you don't need more hustle. You don't need more caffeine. You don't need more chaos. But if you can find that rhythm that comes from the Lord that He's speaking to you about, that is what's going to lead you to the breakthrough. And energy, honestly, is just the beginning. So I will see you in the challenge. Don't forget to drop challenge below, and I'll send that link to you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.